Hey guys, so welcome back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about TBRs and how I create and curate my TBR. I will put the video down below of my 2024 reading goals and TBR list. But for me, I'm a type of person where I do follow a TBR. I have to follow a TBR because I need structure. My mind works like a list. So I have to have a TBR just to navigate me. Also, too, the way that I create it, that's why I can stick to the TBR list because I know what I like, what I don't like. Also, I'm not afraid of DNFing books. It is rare when I do DNF books on my TBR, but because I have created my TBR list to the T, it's really rare when I do DNF a book. Okay, so let's just get started. So first, how I created is any authors I've read for previous years that I really do like, I will put another book on the list. And this is for me to read more of their catalog. I have done that with two authors. Those two authors are Diane McKinney Westone and Donna Hill. I discovered Donna Hill back, I want to say, now is it 2 years ago? And I think Diane McKinney Westone. And the first book I remember reading for Diane McKinney Westone was Blues Dancing and was flabbergasted. And I think last year I read two of her books and did 2 reading vlogs. This year I'm reading her debut novel and it's called Tumbling. Now this is my little beat up when I got this from a library sale for like 50 cents. If I do like it, which I know I am, I'm going to get another copy. But her writing, oh my goodness. I was just so in awe when I first discovered her. And I'm like, she just knows. I can't even describe how well she writes. If you like, first of all, if you like well-written characters with so many, levels and depth to them, you're going to like Diane McKinney Westone. If you like a well-rounded story, her stories don't drag on. They're not too long. They're not too short. I've read about 3 or 4, and I'm going to go through her whole catalog because she just knows how to write. And then, like I said, Donna Hill, had her on my list last year, and it was, what was it called? Rhythms. And I really wanted to read that because that was set during the 1920s, 1930s. Anything set during that time period, I really love because it's Harlem Renaissance. I always want to just get that time period, that feeling when I read a book. And y'all, I did do a reading vlog on that. And I'll put that down below. I don't give any spoilers, but that one was amazing. And then when I found out it was a sequel to that book, it was called What Mother Never Told Me. Oh my goodness. So after reading those two, last year I put her book An Original Woman, and I also have a reading vlog on that, and it was again fantastic. So I'm like, well, I want to read her again. So this year I am reading I Am Aya, The Way Home, and I believe this came out, this is her newest book. It came out, I want to say last year. Let's see. Yep, came out in 2023 of May. And look at that cover. I can't wait to get into this. I know it's about a young girl named, what's that girl's name? Alexandria. She is an artist. She's estranged from her dad. They live in Sag Harbor. Her dad gets sick. She goes to visit him. And I think you get the secrets and lies and all of that. Her characters are memorable. Her story is memorable. Her stories are not the same at all. You know how you have some authors where you feel like it's the same character in different settings? Not with these two authors. No, ma'am. So, yes. So, again, if I like an author from the previous years and I say, you know what, I want to read them again, I'll put them on my TBR. Next is male authors, specifically Black male authors. I always like to include at least one male author on my TBR for the whole, for the year. This year I have Walter Francis White, The Fire in the Flight. Now, this book is during the Harlem Renaissance. I read his book Flight, and oh my goodness, I didn't know that he was an author. I only knew him because he was the secretary of the NAACP. He worked under James Weldon Johnson, but he did literature and he wrote fictional books. And when I tell you he can write, if you guys have not read the book Flight, I would highly suggest you do. It is amazing. Oh my goodness, it talks about passing, it talks about infidelity, it talks about oh girl, he got all the tea up in there, okay? So good. And that was written in the 1920s. Of course, since I did like Flight, and I was like, you know what? I have to incorporate a black male author. Let me incorporate him. Next is classic literature. I always have to include at least one classic literature. And this year it was Not Without Laughter by Langston Hughes. I already read this and I did a read a book in one day, and I mean, come on, it's Langston Hughes. It was amazing. I mean, you could see how much I tabbed it. When you guys watched that video, you saw how much I was into it. That mama just worked my nerve. That mama and that daddy. This book, amazing, amazing. And with my classics, it doesn't have to be a, black author, even though y'all know I'm all, black, team black. But last year I had, who did I have on there? I believe, what was it? Uncle Top's Cabin, I believe I had on there. And I really did like that. Another classic that I do have on my list to read this year, and I'm currently reading it, is Anna Karenina. You guys know I've been doing my series, A Black Girl Reads Anna Karenina, and I am so surprised still that I am in love with this book. The way I have approached it, you have to approach books like this with a modern mindset. It's really hard to explain, but if you watch the videos, you'll see what I mean. So yeah, this is another classic. Next is At Least One YA book. Now this year I have two. The first is The Davenports. I am so excited to read this because this is a historical fiction book, and I cannot wait to get into it. I love this cover, and that cover is so pretty. Next is Hurricane Summer by Asha Bloomfield, and I was currently reading this, and then I put it on the back burner, and it's not that it's not good. I just got, engrossed in another book, so I'm going to pick this back up because I'm on page 118, but I really do love it. I wanted to read this because the character is from her father's from the Caribbeans, and I wanted to read something that had that Caribbean aspect. Also, in the synopsis, they were talking about like some secrets and some lies. Y'all know how much I love that, so yes. And then lastly, I do something called a author project. It used to be called a 3-author project, where for the past, I want to say 2 or 3 years, I focused on 3 authors' whole fictional catalog. One year I did Toni Morrison, James Baldwin, Bernice McFadden. Another year I did Eldridge Danticat. She's a Haitian writer. I wanted to read all of Maya Angelou's autobiographies and Ernest J. Gaines. And then the next year, I wanted to focus on all Harlem Renaissance books, and bought so many, focus on them, immerse myself in it. And that's when I discovered, oh, you know what? That's my favorite genre of all times. And I discovered so many authors from that time, male and female. And when I tell you, so many authors. And it's not just Langston Hughes and Zora Neale Hurston, even though those are GOATs, but if you really get down to the nitty-gritty of reading Renaissance, you will find so many authors from that time that their stories are so modern. Every time I read a book from that time, it just shocks me. Like, this book was written in the 1920s, 1930s. Yes. So this year, I want to focus on one author, and that author is J. California Cooper. I became aware of J. California Cooper without even knowing I was aware of J. California Cooper, because I always watched that movie back on BET called My Funny Valentine with Loretta Devine and Alfred Whitter, and did not know that was a short story, and they turned it into a TV movie. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. At one time, they had the whole movie on YouTube. If they do, I'll put it down below. Then I read this book of hers last year on my TBR, Homemade Love, and she's known for short stories. And after that, I said, you know what? I'm reading her whole catalog. So that's what I'm doing this year. I believe I need 1 or 2 more of her books, and I will have them all. Now, so far this year, I've only read her debut book. These are a collection of short stories called A Peace of Mind. I did a read a book in one day of this. I will put it down below. And I have the rest here. I'm so excited to read her novels because I've only read short stories, and she does have some novels. If you like, first of all, if you real nosy like me, you go like her. Tea and drama. If you like that kind of Southern aspect of writing, she has that, which is crazy because she's not even from the South. She's from, I believe, is it Seattle? I think. I know she's not from the South, she's from the North, but her writing, unbelievable. You will remember her writing, okay? If you guys watched that read a book in one day of me reading this, you guys saw a taste of her writing, because I like to read some passages for you guys just to get the taste of the author's, you know, voice, and if you like it, you could pick it up, and I don't include spoilers. So yeah, I'm so excited to get back into her world. I need to start again, well, because I have to finish this whole thing before the year ends, and it's not going to be a problem. But I think I am going to read a novel by her. I was going to start with Family, but I know this is dealing with slavery, and I'm in the middle of reading a slavery themed book, so I might read something else. But yeah, I do know I want to start with a novel by her. So yeah, guys, that is it when it comes to how I create and curate my TBR. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you, and I'll be back with more Black books. Bye.